I would request everyone to keep their phone on silent and please maintain silence in this class. A very good morning, warm and happy greetings to everyone present here. I, Sakshi Singh, and my co-host,
We are grateful to be the part of this guest lecture series on advanced techniques in geography.
hosted by Geography Department of Modern College.
As you all remember, on day one of this guest lecture series, Dr. Sudhakar Pardeshi sir, Professor and Head of Department of Geography, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, inaugurated this guest lecture series and enlightened us on application of remote sensing.
And on day two, Mr. Ganesh Kumar sir, Director of Terra Informatics Service Pune, imparted his knowledge and expertise about advanced surveying through drone and very kindly showed us how the drone works. This guest lecture series has been a huge success and day one and day two were power packed with information and so many informative and inspiring things to learn from the professors personally. And today, my friends, it's no different. We are here to learn and witness last but certainly not the least, day three of this guest lecture series. We feel privileged and honored to have our chief guest, Mr. Avinash Kandekar, sir, Associate Professor, Department of Geography, Savitribai Phule, Pune University. He is going to impart his knowledge and experience about Mountain Kanchenjunga Eco Expedition 2019, a geographical perspective study to climate change response.
We are thrilled and we look forward to learn from you, sir.
We also welcome our beloved Sir Dr. Vilas Kande, Head of Department of Geography.
We welcome you, sir. On behalf of Modern College, we welcome you all, and we feel very privileged to be in presence of all our dignitaries, HODs, teachers, non-teaching staff, and our fellow mates here today. So now let us begin the felicitation ceremony.
On behalf of the Institute, I cordially request our HOD Sir to felicitate our guest of honor, Mr. Avinash Kandekar, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I would request our beloved HOD Sir to come and speak a few words.
Good morning, one and all. Today, this is a third lecture, and today's review has been taken by the anchors. First lecture, second lecture, and now today this is third lecture and last lecture. Present on the dais, Dr. Avinash Kandekar, behalf of the Model College and Department of Geography, I warmly welcome for this lecture. Respected principals, sir, all vice principals, HODs, all my dear colleagues in the Department of Geography, non-teaching staff of Department of Geography, all the students who have been taken initiatives in this lecture series, anchors, and their students. What is the aims and objective of this lecture series? That is to give a brief information regarding nature.
geography, analytical part of geography, and branches of geography. This is the main aim of the lecture series, and I hope we successfully organize and deliver 3 lectures within a time. Thank you very much. As yesterday, Dr. Dinga Rasa, principal of the Modern College, explained that every year Department of Geography used to celebrate GeoFest, various competitions, model competitions, quiz competition, everything we involved in such type of activity, but last 2 years we are unable to conduct such type of activity. After this COVID situation, we are celebrating this lecture series. Dear students, first of all, I would like to thank my departmental colleagues, Dr. Amit Sonami sir, Professor Vayal sir, Priyanka Kumari, Sanjay Tarange sir, Abhishek Patil sir, Himani Putre madam, and Aniket Alsul sir. This is my, or these are my source of energy, including all these staff members, non-teaching staff, Ganwat, Raut, Suryavanshi, all these people are engaged in such type of activity. So I would like to thank all these my colleagues. Friends, such type of activities were conducting for the students. And Department of Geography always give the chance to students. And within 2-3 days, there are 8 students who have been involved in such type of activity, and everything they have organized very well. I am proud of all these students who have taken initiative in such type of activity. So, as a head, I would like to felicitate these students first of all. So, I request Dr. Kandekar sir, please felicitate these students one by one. First, Sakshi Singh. Give a big hand. These are the students who have successfully organized such type of events. Sakshi Singh. What a confidence level, developed in sense and confidence which are built up in such type of students. Second, Ada Sharma. Siddhi Jadhav. Chetan Ingade. Mahesh Mahale. Ayush Sharma. Yes, on behalf of Ayush, Sakshi Singh. Then Janvi Sukumani. and Naveen Kunte. And friends, यानंतर सर्वात महत्त्वाचं जे आभार प्रदर्शनाचं ॲज अ हेड म्हणून काम मी करू इच्छितो ते ॲनिमेशन विभागाचे आमचे मित्र आमचे सहकारी प्रोफेसर नेर्लेकर सर यांना आपण मोठ्या टाळ्यांच्या गजरामध्ये त्यांचं आपण इथं स्वागत करून त्यांचंही आपण आभार मानावा. नेर्लेकर सरांनी आपल्याला 2 दिवस मॉडर्न मीडिया स्टेशनवरती लाईव्ह जे आपल्याला हे संपूर्ण कार्यक्रम जवळजवळ आजही आणि परवाही जवळजवळ 300 विद्यार्थी विविध डिपार्टमेंट हा कार्यक्रम पाहत आहेत आणि आजही हे लाईव्ह सेशन जे आहे ते YouTube वरती टेलिकास्ट होत आहे. त्यामुळे मी त्यांचेही इथं आभार मानतो आणि जास्त न बोलता आपण सगळे इथं आलात. तुम्हालाही सर्वांना इथूनच फुलं दिलेली आहेत असं गृहीत करा आणि तुमचंही इथं स्वागत करतो. आणि आपण इतर गोष्टी बोलण्यापेक्षा कारण माझी जबाबदारी आहे की ज्यांनी काम केलं त्याचं श्रेय त्यांना दिलं पाहिजे. बाकी मला काही जास्त बोलायचं नाही. धन्यवाद. Thank you, sir, for your kind word.
As we can see, everyone here is really eager and excited to learn. So with no further ado, we would like to invite our colleagues, Siddhi
And Mahesh,
to introduce our guest of honor.
धन्यवाद साक्षी आणि चेतन. नमस्कार, मी महेश.
नमस्कार, मी सिद्धी. मागील 2 सत्रांप्रमाणे आपण आजच्या कार्यक्रमाचे प्रमुख पाहुणे डॉक्टर अविनाश कांडेकर सरांची ओळख करून घेऊया. सरांचे अकॅडमिक क्वालिफिकेशन MA, सेट, PhD आणि PhD इन Glaciers. टायटल ऑफ PhD thesis, Westland Management, a Geomorphic Approach, a study of Panchayat Reservoir Catchment, Western Maharashtra. Research interest, hydrogeochemical studies, sedimentology, degraded and studies and application of geoinformatics in modeling.
Research project completed. Successfully completed a research project entitled Delineation and Management of Wetlands in Panchayat Catchment using remote sensing and GIS techniques. 9 research publication. तसेच सरांचे बऱ्याच संशोधन आणि शैक्षणिक संस्थांमध्ये सदस्यत्व सुद्धा आहे. जसे की Managing Editor of Institute of Indian Geographers, Pune, Indian Institute of Geomorphologists of Allahabad, the Deccan Geographical Society, Pune आणि महाराष्ट्र भूगोलशास्त्र परिषद पुणे. तर असे सगळ्या क्षेत्रात सक्रिय असणारे आणि संशोधन वृत्ती जोपासणारे आपल्या आजच्या कार्यक्रमाला लाभलेले आपले प्रमुख पाहुणे डॉक्टर अविनाश कांडेकर सरांनी आपल्याला व्याख्यान देऊन उपकृत करावे अशी मी त्यांना नम्र विनंती करतो. तसेच नेहमीप्रमाणे व्याख्यान झाल्यानंतर क्वेश्चन आवर सेशन सुद्धा अरेंज करण्यात आलेला आहे. जर तुम्हाला नेहमीप्रमाणेच प्रश्न असतील तर तुम्ही सरांना विचारू शकता. धन्यवाद.
Good morning, all of you. First of all, I would like to thanks for giving me this opportunity. So, Gundarao sir, the principal of Modern College, respected Kamle sir, my friend Amit Sonane, Vayal sir, and all other colleagues as well as the dear students. So I'm thankful to all of you that is for the Kamil sir giving me this opportunity to present my some of the research work in front of you. So as you can see, the first slide it is basically for the Mount Kanchenjunga Eco Expedition 2019. So in 2019, along with 7 students, so we went to the Mount Kanchenjunga base camp in Sikkim. That is normally called it as the Goichala. So that is the base camp of Mount Kanchenjunga from Indian side. Okay, so this eco expedition. So I was the coordinator of that particular expedition, and in which the number of samples we collected, we analyzed, and so some of them I'm going to present over here. So before starting this, this particular expedition, it is for the climbing of Mount Kanchenjunga. So I am associated with Giri Premi Club, which is the mountaineering club. I am trustee right now of that particular club. And in 2019, 11 climbers from Giri Premi, they climbed successfully Mount Kanchenjunga. Okay, yes. So this eco expedition is the part of that particular final mountain climbing expedition. Okay, so being a teacher of geography and indirectly the earth science, so I think most of you are here from the geography, right? So uh, this is basically the arena in which we geographers can able to contribute ourselves. Normally in schools, we thought that the geography, history is basically the very simple subject. But right now, if you can see some of the international universities in which the most of the scientists, earth scientists, so they are belong to the geographers. Okay, and mostly we found that number of publications it is there as far as the Himalayan territory are concerned. So it is from the foreigners. Okay, so we try our level best to collect some of the samples from this area, and we try our level best to analyze it, and we have right now published one book chapter out of this publication, and 2 3 more publications will be there because of last 2 years COVID pandemic. So we are unable to basically do some of the analysis. So this is a brief background of this particular thing. यानी कि म्हणजे मी सांगितलं जसं की ही एक्सपिडिशन जी आहे ही मेन माउंटन क्लाइम्बिंगची होती आणि त्याच्यात इको एक्सपिडिशन जो पार्ट आहे हा पार्ट आम्ही त्याच्यातनं केलेला आहे. सो इन दिस पर्टिक्युलर प्रेझेंटेशन सो 3 areas in which we work, okay, so that we can able to see over here. Okay, so this is the basically. Okay, so on right side you can see the Sikkim part of the Kanchenjunga National Park. So it is our pride. So this particular is the only one UNESCO World Heritage Site of India as far as the mixed categories are concerned. Okay, and on left side you can see. So it is not the Kanchenjunga. It is called local name. That is the Lapcha community is there, and they basically called it as a Kanchenjunga. Okay. On left side you can see the Kanchenjunga conservation area, that is part in Nepal area. So these red lines, which are basically the trek route. Okay. So we basically follow the right side route, that is to the Sikkim. As I was told you, we can reach up to the Goichala. The height is about 4,300 meters from the mean sea level. Next please. And we collected the sample from this particular area. This is Mount Kanchenjunga. Next. So these are the things we collected. So in all the 2 batches of the participants from both the sides, Nepal as well as the Sikkim side, we went to there, and about 14 days trek it is required to reach up to the base camp. We collected the sediment sample, rock samples, water samples, plants, diatoms, microbes samples. Out of that, so the diatoms related study I am going to show you in today's lecture. We collected the samples from the 4 glacial lakes. Okay, so that is Sukha Pokri, Lakshmi Pokri, Samiti Lake, Lam Pokri, etc. And we also able to collaborate with the Agarkar Institute, Pune, the Praj group for microbe studies, and right now our 2 samples are there in PRL Physical Research Laboratory for dating purpose. Okay, next one. So this is our whole team along with our student, my wife. She is also teacher in mathematics department in Pune University, and my son is also there. He was at that time 8 years, so he also reached up to that particular point. Next. Okay, so first, as I was told you, so in 3 different areas we basically work, and it is related with our subject geography. Okay, so this first part, it is monitoring and prediction of deglaciated changes from 1988 to 2017 in Kanchenjunga area using the remote sensing technique. Next. So this is a satellite image of this area. So you can see clearly the area which is basically located very close to the northernmost part of India, that is the Sikkim. Next. So again, I'm not so objective as far as this particular objectives are concerned. For monitoring the changes of different glaciated area, we were selected these 4 image, which is having the spatial resolution of 5.8 meter, and 2004, 2009, 2014, and 2019. November and December images we were selected for this present study because that is the period in which the mostly we can see the cloud-free data. So that is our, and with the help of that satellite image, we can able to identify certain geomorphic features, okay, of that area. And the next objective is to predict the future projection. Okay, so with the help of Markov chain analysis, so we can able to predict the future scenario up to 2034. Next one. So these are the data set. Landsat 5 images we selected, and for object-based classification, the same year Google Earth image we can able to refer for that. Next. As far as the geography are concerned, I think in FYBA BSc in first year of master, so you can able to come or able to know the certain this particular area. So it is called it as the accumulation area. So accumulation area means what? Where the fresh snowfall it is accumulated, and actually the glaciers it is started from this particular area. So you can see this the ice part it is shown over here. So it is basically the accumulated area, and the right side image it is showing the different accumulation area as far as that 5 years are concerned, right from 1988 to 2019. So this accumulation area it is showing the shrinkage. Okay, next one. Next geomorphic feature it is basically the ice exposed ablation area. Ablation area means what? Where the snow or ice start melting. So that we call it as the ablation area. So normally, suppose this is a mountain front. So at pediment zone, at the foothill zone, you can have this ablation area where the snow or ice really starts melting. So as far as ice exposed area also, it is showing the negative grain. Debris cover area, ablation area. So it is normally the moraine. I think you heard about this moraine. So that basically called it as ablation area. It also basically shows the increase in rain in this particular time frame. Next. Deglaciated valley means it is the end moraine part. Okay, so these features are you people already learn in FYBA, BSc and your master's geomorphology fundamental course. So this is the end moraine, or it is called it as the terminal moraine. So this is the last advancement phase of a glacier. म्हणजे ग्लेशियर तुमच्यापैकी बऱ्याच जणांना माहिती पण असेल की so our earth is basically having a 4.6 billion years age. Okay, so in this particular 4.6 billion years, so our earth receives the number of glaciation phase and number of interglaciation phase. Okay, आपण ice age movie बघितला असेल, कार्टून मूवी. So it is basically the showing the ice age period. Right now, from last 11,700 years, we are in Holocene period. Geological times as far as the geological time frame are concerned, we are in Holocene period. 11,700 वर्षापासून आपण Holocene मध्ये आहोत. Holocene जो आहे तो interglaciation period आहे. So that is the period in which you can normally observe the melting of the glacier, receding backward of the glaciers. Okay, so this is normal tendency. Now we can see the word like global warming. So no doubt our human activities like urbanization, it is accelerate the process of this melting of the snow, but it is a normal tendency. We might know after about 10,000, 20,000 years, again our earth will be there in the glaciation phase. So this was the end moraine or lateral moraine. It is the last glaciation period, final advancement. Okay, so you can able to imagine this. So here, this end moraine, it is cut down by the river. Okay, so it is basically like this is supposed to be the glacier, and end moraine is supposed to be like this. So this end moraine, it is cut down by the river. So you can see in last 30 years, so this end moraine, okay, so the phases of the moraine, it shows the again receding backward. So with the help of satellite image, we can able to identify certain things. So for this classification, we take the help from CDAC, one of the scholar, the Prabhu, and another one is basically, they are basically working on this block model. The next one, the snout position, as I was told you, this is the inward part where the snow melts. So this snout position also shows the receding phase, okay, in this last 30-35 years. Next, glacial lakes, due to the melting of the snow, so the extent of glacial lakes, it shows the increase in trend. So you can see this. This particular slide is basically showing the one of the lake, glacial lakes in that particular area, which shows the increasing in their size. So this is one of the lake Lakshmi Pokri, in which we also taken some of the samples which we can see later on. Next one. So this glacial lakes related study, which shows that so its size is increasing, but it is increase in a smaller extent. Next one. Next. So these are the glaciers. Okay, so about 104 glaciers we can able to identify with the help of satellite image. So some of you might be after your graduation or post graduation, if you opt for the geoinformatics, so you can also able to do such kind of the work. So this is the geographical arena in which we can able to contribute something, and you people also get some of the job opportunities there in geoinformatics. So these are the present day glaciers. Okay, so as far as the 2019 image are concerned. Next one. These are the feature which I was talking about, the accumulation area, ice, debris covered area, the deglaciated valley of 1988 to 2017. Okay, so in this particular picture, we cannot able to identify certain specific things. Next, but as I was told you, the next objective was first objective was to identify the certain geomorphic feature, and next objective was to identify its trend, future trend. So for that matter, we use the Markov-Chain cellular automata model. So your previous one of the teacher, Das madam. So she basically did it at that time. So what we do, so we can use the 1998 image, because this is 1998 image and this is 1996 image. By using this pixel to pixel, we can able to predict the 2004 scenario. यानी कि एक 1988 का जो एक X पिक्सल है, यानी वो इमेज में मिलियंस ऑफ पिक्सल रहेंगे. तो 1988 का जो X पिक्सल है, वही सेम लोकेशन का पिक्सल हमने 1996 को देखा, और उससे ये जो मार्को चेन एनालिसिस है, उससे हमें 2004 का वही पिक्सल का सिनेरियो प्रिडिक्ट हम लोग कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. सो दैट इज वी कॉल्ड इट एज अ सिमुलेटेड इमेज. वो सिमुलेटेड इमेज है, और एक्चुअली हमारे पास 2004 की इमेज है, उससे हम लोग एक्चुअल लैंड के ऊपर क्लासिफिकेशन करेंगे. इसका यूज क्या है? सो वी कैन एबल टू प्रिडिक्ट इफ द very less variation is there in between actual and simulated image, then we can able to use this particular model for future prediction. As I was told you, up to 2034 we can able to predict the future trend. समजलेले काय आपण करणार आहोत ते एका पिक्सल वरनं 88 चा या अख्ख्या याच्यामध्ये समजा मिलियन्स ऑफ पिक्सल आहे. मी हा कोपऱ्यातलाच पिक्सल घेतला 88 चा, हाच कोपऱ्यातला पिक्सल 1996 चा घेतला, आणि त्याच्यावरनं मी 2004 चं काय प्रिडिक्शन असेल ते मी बघणार आहोत. तसं या सगळ्या पिक्सलचं आपण तसं फ्युचर प्रिडिक्शन बघितलं. म्हणजे अकोमोडेशन एरिया 1988 चा त्या सेम पिक्सलचा 1996 ला तो अक्युमुलेशन राहतोय का तो ॲब्लेशन मध्ये जातोय. तर हे आपल्याला त्या मार्को चेन वरनं आपण पिक्सल टू पिक्सल आपण क्लासिफिकेशन करू शकतो. सो नेक्स्ट वन. So this is actually the bar diagram in which we can able to show what is the variation as far as the accuracy, as far as the actual image and simulated image are concerned. म्हणजे त्याच्यातला किती फरक आहे. म्हणजे जर खूप जास्त फरक असेल तर ते मॉडेल आपण प्रिडिक्शन साठी नाही वापरणार, पण खूप कमी हे असं व्हेरिएशन असेल तर ते आपण प्रिडिक्शन साठी वापरणार. So you can see all the right hand side feature, accumulation area, average area, in which there is a very less variation in between the actual and simulated area. So this particular model is helpful for prediction purpose. Next. So this is actually the prediction of 2028 as far as the glaciated areas are concerned. So this is the power of this particular technology, remote sensing and GIS. So we can able to predict the certain, म्हणजे आपण आता 2022 मध्ये आहोत, आपण 2028 2034 मधला सिनेरिओ प्रिडिक्ट करू शकतो. आणि मी मागाशी दाखवलं तसं ऍक्च्युअली आणि सिम्युलेटेड मधला फरक कमी आहे, त्यामुळे मोर ऑर लेस असंच बिहेवियर हे 2028 मध्ये असू शकते. नेक्स्ट. ओके. सो दीज आर द कन्क्लुजन. सो as far as the glaciers are concerned, it is showing the negative change in the area in between 1998 to 2017. The figure is basically not important over here. So about 43.5 square kilometer area, it is decreases in this particular phase. Okay, as far as the glaciers are concerned. So one of the paper, it was published in 1996 in Current Science, which shows out of the 5 Himalayan area, Karakoram, Himachal area, Nepal area, Sikkim area and Arunachal Pradesh, in which this Sikkim area shows the maximum decreasing rate. Okay, as far as the glaciers are concerned. म्हणजे थोडक्यात सांगायचं काय की आपण जे कार्बन डायऑक्साईड, सल्फर डायऑक्साईड हे इथे इमिट करतोय, हे याचा परिणाम तिकडे ग्लेशियर वरती होतोय. आपण जगाचं तुम्हाला बरेच जणांना माहिती असेल की कार्बन डायऑक्साईड किंवा सल्फर डायऑक्साईडचं प्रमाण जर 1% जरी वाढलं, so it can affect on the melting of the glacier. So directly or indirectly we are basically contributing of this particular thing. So might be after about 100 or 50 years we don't have glaciers if we are basically using the fossil fuel in the same rate. Okay, so this is basically the outcome of this particular study. So as far as the accumulation areas are concerned, so that all the statistics are there. Okay, so these are the conclusions. So that the main conclusion is that this receding rate is maximum over here in Sikkim area. Okay, next one. So next, okay, so I have to complete it in 30 to 40 minutes. So I am quite fast. Okay, over here. Next, our study was there the late Holocene. As I was told you, the Holocene period means the last 11,700 years. We are in Holocene period. So this is the basically the area. The three lakes we basically focused as far as this particular magnetic variation are concerned. So one of the professor from geology department in Pune University, Professor Sangwade, he basically having this expertise in the mineral magnetism. Mineral magnetism is a very complicated concept. I just try my level just to say you. So whenever the sediment, we know that our Himalayan part, yeah, it is basically called as the youngest fold mountain system. So how young it is? So it is about only 8 to 10 years old. 8 to 10 million years old. Billion years old. Rather than our age of the Earth is 4.6 billion years. So compared to that, so it is very recent one. 8 million years. It is very comparatively lesser, newer phenomenon. So, but all the river which are there in this particular area, which are basically depositing this material or sediment from last about 6 to 8 million years. कळतंय ना म्हणजे गेल्या 6 ते 8 दशलक्ष वर्षांपासून इथे हे sediment deposit होतंय. So at that time, I think in continental drift theory, you may heard about this. So we have the paleomagnetism evidence. Okay, so with the help of trough compass, we can able to identify the north direction. So that is not actually our geographical north. It is actually our magnetic north. Trough compass आपण काय बघतो magnetic north. आताचा magnetic north कुठे तुला माहिती आहे का? Northern, it is near the north pole of the Earth. North pole ला जात नव्हतं. So it is basically northernmost part of the Canada, where the Baffin Islands are there, scattered islands there. Over there, the Prince of Wales, it is a small island. So today's magnetic field is there concentrated next to that Prince of Wales Island. So whenever we are using the trough compass, it is pointed toward that particular field. So it is quite away from the geographical north. ज्याच्या भोवती पृथ्वी फिरते त्याचा जो ऍक्सेस आहे त्याला आपण geographical north म्हणतो आणि ज्या ठिकाणी मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड आहे ते. सो कॉन्टिनेंटल ड्रिफ्ट थेरी काय सांगते की हा मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड जे आहे चेंज होते त्याचं लोकेशन बिफोर अबाउट 200 मिलियन इयर्स अगो. सो द गल्फ ऑफ जिनिव्हा म्हणजे आताचा आफ्रिकेचा वेस्टर्न मोस्ट पार्ट तिथे मॅग्नेटिक फील्ड होतं, मॅग्नेटिक नॉर्थ होता 200 दशलक्ष वर्षांपूर्वी. सो what I'm trying to say is this particular magnetic field always change its position. Okay, now come to the point. With the help of this mineral magnetism, what we can do? So while depositing this sediment in any particular area, so the iron content or ferrous content, it pointed toward that particular magnetic north. म्हणजे ज्यावेळेस ते सेटल होत असेल तर प्रत्येक मातीमध्ये वेगवेगळे घटक असतात. आयन असेल, कॅल्शियम असेल, मॅग्नेशियम असेल, त्यातला जो आयन कंटेंट आहे त्याच्यातले जे मॅग्नेटिक डिक्लिनेशन आहे त्या वेळेसच्या मॅग्नेटिक फील्डकडे ओरिएंट करतात. ठीक आहे, तर ज्या मिनरल मॅग्नेटिझमने आपल्याला काय कळतं की त्यावेळेस कुठे मॅग्नेटिक नॉर्थ होता आणि त्यावेळेस वेट स्पेल होतं का ड्राय स्पेल होतं हे कळतं. ठीक आहे, थोडी कॉन्सेप्ट कळली नाही तरी आपल्याला त्यातलं मिळणार काय हे महत्वाचं. ठीक आहे, सो दिस particular glacial lakes sample we can able to collect up to about depth of 2 meters. Next one, from these 4 glacial lakes, this is the methodology. We don't bother about this. Next one, it is about 3-4 different instruments are there. With the help of that we can able to identify the certain specific characteristics of that iron parts. So this is the first Lam Pokhri lake. You can see this is the lake is there and it is the moraine dam lake. The lateral moraine, sorry, एंड मोरेन जो आहे, या एंड मोरेननी हा डॅम केलेला असा हा लेक आहे, लॅमपोखरी. नेक्स्ट वन. So this is actually the left hand side. You can see the core. What do we do? So the GI pipe, आपण जे घरात जे पाण्याचे पाईप असतात, galvanized pipe. So we can basically take the pipe which having the 1 meter length, 2-inch diameter, okay, and we basically do some mechanism in which through which only we can able to insert it into the glacial lakes. म्हणजे याला जास्त फंडिंग नव्हतं, त्याच्यामुळे जुगाड जे आहे ते आम्ही याच्यात केलं होतं. So to basically collect the glacial lake samples from the maximum depth. याला काही रशियन कोरस वगैरे असतं तर त्याची किंमतच 7-8 लाख असते, तर ते आपल्या गरीबाकडनं कुठून येणार ना, तर मग असं काहीतरी जुगाड करून न्यावं लागतं. So this pipe we can cut down. So one of my student, so who did basically this particular work for his dissertation. So literally suppose हा जो पाईप आहे तर त्याने ड्रिल असतं ना, आपण होल जे मारतो ड्रिल, तर ते एक ड्रिल पाडून दोन्ही बाजूनी तो पाईप कट केला. का? कारण तो कापायचा नव्हता, तो असा कापू शकतो, पण तसं ते आपलं सॅम्पल डिस्टर्ब होऊ नये म्हणून त्याने एक ड्रिल करत पण त्याचे आम्ही 2 भाग केले. एक भाग जो आम्ही रिझर्व करून ठेवला आणि एका भागाचं याच्यात सॅम्पलिंगला वापरलं. सो दिस इज बेसिकली द पार्ट ऑफ द जिओलॉजी. ओके, सो व्हाट आर द species? So we have the muddy feces, silty feces, म्हणजे silt किंवा mud, sand, त्याच्यात कशाचं डॉमिनन्स आहे हे त्याच्यातनं कळतं. So the basic thing is that so whenever there is a wet spell are there, म्हणजे पूर्वी कधीतरी ज्यावेळेस तिथे जास्त पाणी येत होतं त्यावेळेस कोर्सर मटेरियल ते डिपॉझिट होत असेल, आणि ज्यावेळेस तिथे कमी पाणी येत असेल, कमी सेडिमेंट येत असेल, त्यावेळेस जे काही सेडिमेंट येईल ते एकदम फायनर मटेरियल आहे. सो दॅट मीन्स मडी फिसी और क्लेई फिसी रिप्रेझेंट द वॉर्मर फेज and coarser material means it is a wet spell. हे दोघं आपण असं लक्षात घेऊ. So according to this, so we can be able to get this different sections, okay, of that particular area. So you can see over there. So our students, so they collected the core sample about the 2 meter depth. म्हणजे तिथे परत आम्ही तसं वेगळं जुगाड केलं होतं की 2 पाईप जोडण्यासाठी तिथे क्लॅम्प होता, त्याला थ्रेड वगैरे इकडूनच मारून आम्ही असे किती पाईप खाली टाकू शकतो, पण आम्ही 2 पाईप फक्त इन्सर्ट करू शकतो. नेक्स्ट वन. So this is the result of the mineral magnetism. At the bottom you can see that is that core sample. Okay, so about 42 different 1 centimeter interval sample we collected and we analyzed it. So what is the result of this? So you can see over here this 1, 2 and 3. So this number 1, 2, 3, it is more downside, and 4 to 8, it is at upside. So what is that? So that lowermost part of our core, it's showing might be the wet spell. Sorry, it's showing the dry spell might be it is prior to Holocene period. So the magnetic चा result वरून हे कळलेलं आहे. So for that matter, as I was told you in PRL, Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad. So our 2 samples, one sample it is from this particular part, and another sample is at the bottom hole. Okay, so that PRL they charge about $500 for the analysis of one sample. So basically, with the help of the collaboration, so Naveen Chauhan is basically the scientist B over there. So he basically analyzed this particular sample, okay, on free of cost, only on the publication basis. So that first 3 showing the quite different climatic scenario as far as this particular whole sample are concerned. म्हणजे काय थोडक्यात पाईपाच्या खालचा जो भागातला जो सेडिमेंट होता तो काहीतरी वेगळे त्याचे मॅग्नेटिकचे रिपल्केशन्स दाखवतोय. आणि 4 पासून वरचे जे आहेत हे आता सध्याचे दाखवतात. तर त्याचं इंटरप्रिटेशन तिथे तुम्हाला दिसेल. बेसिकली the first overall the mineral magnetism result shows the variability in the sedimentation response to climate oscillation from the bottom with regular cycle, that is basically geological term zone 1 2 3 changing with irregular cycle means what? So that the third one you can see, whereas the cycle pour upward shows the relatively dynamic change dominated by ponding of the lake water, indicating high lake level in response to climate warming. So that means before Holocene there was a glaciation phase, and then drastically the warming starts, and it can easily reflected in these first 3 samples. म्हणजे पहिल्या 3 मध्ये असं दिसतंय की त्या ठिकाणी वॉर्मिंग सुरू झाल्यामुळे, म्हणजे एक तर होलोसिनच्या अगोदर किंवा होलोसिन झाल्यानंतर, तर त्यामुळे त्या सॅम्पल मध्ये आत्ताच्या सॅम्पल मध्ये असलेले कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक्स पेक्षा काही वेगळे सॅम्पल्स येतात. तर हे कधी आम्ही प्रूव्ह करू शकेल? ज्यावेळेस त्या पीआरएल मध्ये सॅम्पल मधून आम्हाला एक्झॅक्ट डेट मिळेल. त्या ओएसएल डेटिंग नावाचे एक असतं की त्या मातीमधले जे क्वार्ट्ज आणि फेल्सपार जे असतात, हे खूप टेक्निकल जाईल मला माहिती आहे, पण ते त्यातनं सेपरेट आउट केले जातात आणि त्याच्यावरनं ओएसएल डेटिंग वरनं त्या पार्टिकल कधी तिथे सेटल झाले हे त्याचं एज सांगतात ना. त्याचं 50,000 प्लस मायनस एवढं व्हेरिएशन असतं. तर आम्हाला असं वाटतं की हे जे खालचे जे 3 पार्ट आहेत त्याचं एज साधारण 11,000च्या पुढे मागे असू शकेल. ते आम्हाला क्लिअर झालं की नंतर की हा जो रिझल्ट आहे इज वन ऑफ द युनिक रिझल्ट बिकॉज इन सिक्कीम एरिया it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so no one paper is from this particular area. So that this might be the one of the good contribution. Okay, so next one. So now we can basically go faster. So I think you understood what I'm trying to say you. So this is another lake, Lakshmi Pokri. The black taboo, it is basically the peak at the back side. Next one. This is basically the trench. Archaeology लोक जशी ट्रेंच करतात तशी आमच्या स्टुडंटनी आणि आम्ही ती ट्रेंच केली. That black color you can see, which is basically having some carbon content. So the palynology is one of the branch. So with the help of that, we can able to identify the bacteria or the microbes over there and what are their characteristics. So next one, as far as this section are concerned, so some of the next one peat. म्हणजे आपण कोल deposit झाला तर जो peat आहे तो similar kind of the peat you can see in the next phase. Next one, and these are the result, okay, of the Lakshmi Pokri. What it indicate that dark, so it basically negligible change in the domain size is basically there, and it shows the higher lake level with higher melting of that mineral magnetism. SDPSD is basically the sum of the things as far as the mineral magnetism are concerned. Next one. Okay, next one. So it is basically glacial fuel kind of the deposition we can observe in this Lakshmi Pokri. Next. Next is Samiti Lake. So in which also we can basically next. These two are the pit where we can basically actually dig range over there. Next. म्हणजे इथे आपल्याला खड्डा खणणं त्या मानाने सोपं आहे. या अल्टिट्यूडला तुम्हाला ऑक्सिजन लेवल इथल्याच्या 50% असते. म्हणजे 2-3 वेळा आपण खणलं की इतका धाप लागतो, त्यामुळे मग दुसऱ्या माणसाला लगेच पुढे घ्यायचं आणि ते खणायचं. सो these are the basically the trench we can basically dig over there. Okay, next. These are basically the Samiti Lake A sample which having the variation. Next one. So you can see here these lines. So these lines are very important feature that we call it as a worm deposit. So in glacial lakes, what happened? The worm means what? During the summer season, as I was told you, the melting took place. So due to melting, coarser material deposited in the lake. While during the winter, what happened? The less melting water is there, and at that time, more finer material deposited. Again, next season, coarser than finer. So this one phase, it is called as a one work year. एक work year त्याला म्हटलं जातं. So these lines are nothing but these are the deposition of the work year in that particular glacial lake. Okay, तुम्ही म्हणजे जॉग्राफी मध्ये आपण किती म्हणतो तसं काही परदेशातले शास्त्रज्ञ जे आहेत अर्थ सायंटिस्ट जे ते जॉग्राफीचे असतात. आपल्याकडे आपण ती टेंडन्सीच ठेवलेली नाही. आपण म्हणतो नाही हे जिओलॉजीचंच काम आहे. तर आपण पण हे गोष्टी करू शकतो. नेक्स्ट, so this is the basically next Samiti lake. It is basically the ferromagnetic concentration. Next one. Next, sill deposit is maximum one. It is the ferrogenic the catchment condition next of this particular area, which suggests that the longer summer producing the vegetative cover in that particular area. म्हणजे साधारण 15,000 वर्षांपूर्वी वगैरे त्या ठिकाणी काही व्हेजिटेशन कव्हर असण्याची चान्सेस आहेत. नेक्स्ट next. So the more or less same things we can observe in Samiti Lake. This is the fourth lake, Sukha Popri next. So it is basically the one of the paleo lake. पूर्वीचं तिथे लेक आता dry out आहे. Next. So these are the results next. Okay, so it is basically the moraine material. Moraine means the depositional material. It is basically there in that particular lake. Next. Okay, so the final conclusion out of that mineral magnetism is the sediments are controlled by the detrital mode. Detrital म्हणजे इथल्याच आजूबाजूचे जे डोंगर आहेत त्याचा सुद्धा जो दगड आहे त्याचे इरोजन जाऊन म्हणजे डिपॉझिट झालेल्या मटेरियलला detrital material म्हणतात. So detrital mode that may be governed by the glacial melting response, primarily climate change in this particular region. The higher ferromagnetic concentration suggests the sudden melting with high energy of the grain transport. So that means as I was told you that Holocene, त्या Holocene मध्ये पण लिटिल आइस एज म्हणून एक आहे 6,000 वर्षांपूर्वी लिटिल आइस एज आहे. आणि आता काही 1-2 वर्षापूर्वी जर एक न्यूज ऐकली असेल की मेघालयन इरा, मेघालय मधल्या काही केव्स मध्ये जे स्टॅलेक्टाइट असतात त्या स्टॅलेक्टाइटच्या मधल्या भागात त्यांना कार्बन कंटेंट मिळाला आणि त्या कार्बन कंटेंटचं अनालिसिस करून डेटिंग करून फॉरेनर्स येतात परत. सो त्यांनी हा मेघालयन इरा हा साधारण 4-5 हजार वर्षांपूर्वी असा फेज होता की ज्यावेळेस पृथ्वीवरचं क्लायमेट जे आहे एक ड्रास्टिक चेंज त्यावेळेस झाला. म्हणजे होलोसिन हा महत्वाचा पिरियड आहे. त्यानंतर लिटिल आइस एज मध्ये काही व्हेरिएशन झाले, त्यानंतर मेघालयन इरा मध्ये हे व्हेरिएशन झाले. सो वी आर ट्राइंग आवर लेवल बेस्ट टू ॲटलीस्ट गेट द डेट्स ऑफ the little ice age or the Holocene period. Next one. Okay, so this is the end of the second one. So third one is basically, so this will require about the 5 to 10 minutes. So this is a very new concept to all of us, okay, including myself. So it is called it as a diatom. Diatom diversity of fresh water, soil, humus, and its application to environmental monitoring. So this is basically the microscopic picture of a diatom. You can see over here. So it is 2 micrometer. So it is the 1 millimeter. So if 1 millimeter divided into 100, then the simple small 2 parts which we call it as the 2 micrometer. So the diatoms are very very smaller in extent. म्हणजे सुईच्या टोकावरती पण हजारो डायटम्स असतात. So there are the various morphology of diatoms. Okay, next one. Okay, so this is a very interesting slide. So this is new to you people as well as myself also at that time. So our surface 25% oxygen it is generated by diatoms. You can get the diatoms in every or each and every area. समजा कुठेतरी नदीचं पाणी थांबलेलं आहे आणि तिथे डबकं आहे त्याच्यामध्ये शेवाळ आहे तर त्या शेवाळामध्ये पण डायटॉम्स आहेत. तुम्ही तिथे एक 5-10 मिनिटं थांबला तर एखादा बुडबुडा त्यातनं वर येताना दिसतो. So that is basically they are basically generating the oxygen for us. And huge expanse of diatom which is there on the oceanic margin. Okay, so diatoms are there on rock. You can see the lichens. आपण त्याला मराठीमध्ये दगडफूल म्हणतो. So that is also the kind of the diatom. Okay, it is basically the kind of algae. So this can able to produce about 25% of the oxygen on the worldwide scale. So there are about 5 lakh diatom. Okay, so which was identified by the scientists. But there might be about 2 millions of diatoms are there on the Earth's surface. So in this particular our work, we means again the Karthik Balakrishna from Agarkar Institute. He is basically the diatom scientist. So our one of the students basically analyze in their laboratory. So this next one. So we are able to identify the 4 new species of diatom because it is the sample which is very rare. At an altitude of 4,000 meters, we can collect this sample. So these are the some of the diatoms which can able to flourish in even the -20, -40 degree temperature. So this is the diatom. So it is normally unicellular golden brown algae. So algae, we know that with the help of photosynthesis process, so it can able to produce its own food. So it is basically the diatom is the kind of algae. So found in mostly the wet places, produce the rapidly environmental specific live solarity or in the colonies. It is the siliceous skeleton. Silica त्याच्यामध्ये असतो. Next one. So these are the different areas. This is the field collected samples. Okay, so this is not my slide. So this is the Karthik Balakrishna slide. So these are the phases. Okay, so with the help of the micrometer, so we can able to see this particular diagram through the under the electronic microscope. Okay. Next one. So normally you can see this macro algae. Normally it is able to see through our naked eyes, but the microscopic algae you can able to see through the microscope. Next one. Okay, so the objective was to understand and documentation of the diatom assemblage across the various aquatic environment of the high altitude area and the reconstruction of the environmental condition of the high altitude aquatic environment using diatom assemblage. Next one. So these are the samples site. Either it is a water body, either it is soil, either it is basically the moss collected from the rock's surface. So about 16 such kind of samples we collected from this different altitudinal area. Next one. So this is a very technical things. So this is basically the different parts which basically able to use to identify the different species of diatom. Okay, next one. So these are the different 4 areas. So diatoms, it is basically it is called as attached. The diatoms which are attached to the rocks, like diatoms in sand, attached to the plants, attached to the microphytes. Okay, so these are the different areas where we can basically collect these samples. Next. So these are the species which we got. So okay, the one thing I cannot say you that these all are the surface samples. Whatever the previous slides, my mineral magnetism is there, it is the depth sample. So this is basically the surface samples. वरती जे आहे पाणी आहे, माती आहे, दगडावर असलेले ते बघितले. So these highlighted ones are basically new species. Now they are basically working on it, okay, to get the published work out of that. Next one. So these are the different species dominance, okay, so in that particular area. So about 1,050 individual count. It was basically counted by our student, and these are the different species. Okay, so it is very tedious job. Through microscope, one single pattern of a diatom. Okay, so you can able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at least 300 count it is required to identify certain species of diatom. म्हणजे हा एक प्रकारचा जर डायटोम असेल ह्याचा असा जर असेल तर असेच त्या अख्ख्या स्लाइड्स वरती म्हणजे त्या ह्याचा एक छोटासा कण स्लाइड्स आपण जसे फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मध्ये करतो तर त्या स्लाइड्स वरती त्याचं सॅम्पल घेणार आणि त्या सॅम्पल मधलं मायक्रोस्कोप खाली एका सर्टन स्पेसिफिक म्हणजे हा पेन जसा दिसतो अशी एक समजा स्पीसीज आहे तर असे ऍटलीस्ट 300 काउंट या पर्टिक्युलर स्पीसीज झाले तरच तो डायटोम तिथे आहे हे क्लिअर होतं त्यांच्या मेथोडॉलॉजीनुसार. सो इट इज व्हेरी व्हेरी टेडियस जॉब अँड द गोपाल भलवी सो आय थिंक फ्रॉम युअर बॅच ना तुम्हाला ज्युनियर होता स्टुडंट आहे अच्छा सॉरी सो ही बेसिकली डू दिस पर्टिक्युलर वर्क विथ द हेल्प ऑफ कार्तिक डॉक्टर कार्तिक. नेक्स्ट वन so it is again the slide wise diversity of the different genera of the diatoms. Next one. So the previous one. So these are the basically the diatoms which is basically dominant in all the altitudinal area as well as this Sikkim area are concerned. Next one. Okay, so now this slide is not from our study. This is the slide from the Karst plateau. Why I am trying to show you this? So whatever that core sample you can see in the case of mineral magnetism. So once we get the date from the PRL physical research laboratory, then we can able to identify or then we can start our work to identify the diatoms from the core sample. So याच्यामध्ये दाखवले तिथे बघा की वरचा जो आहे इट इज बेसिकली द less rain with acidic condition. Then next one is basically the intermittent wet condition and last one is the dry condition. This is basically from the Karst plateau. Okay, so it is depth wise they are basically collected the samples and this is the result of this. So you can see next previous one. So some of the species of diatoms it is basically grow very well whenever there is a wet spell are there. Some of the species grow well in the dry spell also. So with the help of that we can able to correlate the whatever the species which are activated in the last glaciation period. म्हणजे आम्हाला समजा त्याचं जर ओल्डेस्ट आम्हाला त्याची डेट समजा आपण असं धरून 10,000 वर्षांपूर्वीचा मिळाला तर 10,000 वर्षांपूर्वी त्या ठिकाणी वेट स्पेल होतं का ड्राय स्पेल होतं हे इनडायरेक्टली कळण्यासाठी डायटोमचा मदत होईल. सो दिस विल बी द आम्ही सॅम्पल घेतले 2019 मध्ये आणि अजून आमचा तो खेळ चालूच आहे इकडे अनालिसिस करा तिकडे अनालिसिस करा बट द फायनल प्रॉडक्ट ओके सो विच इज बेसिकली द कंट्रीब्युशन as far as this particular Sikkim area are concerned. Okay. So most probably next 2 years, so we can basically having certain type of the diagram in which we can able to say that these are the basically the diatoms present in this area, and this indicate that at that time about 10,000, 8,000 years ago, the dry spell was there, wet spell was there. Okay, म्हणजे एवढं सगळं एक कुटाणा करून काय मिळणार आहे तर त्यातनं काहीतरी छोटंसं मिळणार आहे. अर्थ सायन्स मध्ये खूप जास्त काम करून खूप कमी गोष्टी मिळतात. But job satisfaction is very high in earth sciences. Okay, next one. So now these are the all photographs we reach at this. So at backside you will see the Kanchenjunga group. So it is 5 peaks. Okay, so which is the highest one is basically the third most mountain in the world. So this is the base camp of Mount Kanchenjunga. We reach and we collected samples from this particular area also. Next one. This is our whole group. Okay, so we reach up to the Zongli tops. The height was 4,100. So my son was the first one who basically reached up to this particular height. Okay, in this particular area. Okay, next one. These are the different samples. म्हणजे एखाद्याने पूर्वीच्या काळी वाघ वगैरे मारल्यानंतर जसे ते घेऊन यायचे तसे आम्ही डायटॉम्स जे आहेत. So I just tell you the story about this. this is the, we basically collected sample and through railway, we carried out this. So you don't believe this, the weight of this whole material is about 300 kg. And we are not, so we don't have that much of money. So our students, they were always basically work as a porter over there. So त्याच्यामध्ये ना ते बॉम्ब सारखं वाटतंय, ग्रेनेड सारखं वगैरे वाटतंय. So what is that? So for air wholesale dating, as I was told you, so it is required a sample which is not supposed to be exposed to the solar rays. सोलर रेजला ते एक्सपोज नाही व्हायला पाहिजे. त्यामुळे आम्ही ते ट्रेंच काढल्या, त्याच्यामध्ये तो आडवा पाईप टाकायचो. तो पाईप काढल्यानंतर त्याच्या कडेला दोन्ही ब्लॅक टेपने तो सॅम्पल हे करून घ्यायचो. सीआरएल मध्ये गेल्यावरती त्याचा 2 इंचाचा भाग जो आहे हा कट केला जायचा डार्क रूम मध्ये आणि त्याचे सॅम्पल्स ते अनालिसिस करायला लागायचं. ठीक आहे. सो 2-3 times so the railway police they basically asked about this. What is this? तर त्यांना सांगायचं ते उघडायचं नाही. त्यांना म्हणायचं ते काहीतरी सस्पिशियस मटेरियल आहे का. सो आम्ही आमचं आय कार्ड वगैरे दाखवल्यावरती ते आम्हाला हे करायचं. बट बेसिकली द डिफरंट सॅम्पल्स, द मायक्रोब सॅम्पल्स, रॉक सॅम्पल्स, वॉटर सॅम्पल्स, the 4 samples we collected from there, from this area. Next one. So that, just a minute, Rihanna, last year she was there in this particular department. She also did this particular work. As far as Samiti Lake, Lakshmi Pokri and Samiti, Lakshmi and Sukha Pokri sample were analyzed by your previous teacher, Rihanna Kisniwala. Okay, next one. So these are the different analysis we did it for this particular work. Stable isotope from IITM, sedimentology from geology department, microbes from Praj. Okay, next one. This is the breakthrough river. Next, the photographs here. It is a Kotak Lake, Yuksum. It is basically the last roadhead of this particular area. So it is very fantastic lakes you can observe over here. Next, this is Soka. It is the 3rd day we reach up to this particular height. So all the way you have to climb up. Next, so this kind of the Sirax you can be able to see. So right side that Pandi, Mount Pandi, which is the golden cap, you can always see during the early morning or the evening. Next one. This is this same Pandi area, the Kanchenjunga group at the uppermost side. Next one. These are some of the beautiful photographs we get it. Next. Same area. Next. The panoramic view. Next. The red panda is the state animal of Sikkim. So we got the photograph. This is very shy animal, but we get this particular photograph in zoo. Okay, next. This is we got it. The blue ship. That's a guy. That's a story. So that is the same blue ship. Next. This is the one Zombi area. Next. This is Mount Pandit on Soka. Next. Thank you. Thank you. Any question is there, so you can ask. Otherwise, you can just stop over here. Who was produced? Trees. Okay.
Can we say that the speeds of climate change and can we produce it artificially?
No, this artificially we cannot able to produce it, but their population increases when the what we say that the expected temperature and pH condition, if it is there, so their growth will be very fast. From the X type of diatom, if it is there in the suppose next to the modern college. Okay, so it required about the 30 degrees Celsius temperature and it required a slightly acidic water condition. So if it is there, so it can grow very fast. एक मध्ये मूवी होता त्याच्यामध्ये त्याचे दुसऱ्या ग्रहावर आलेले हे असतात आणि त्याचे डबलिंग ट्रिपल असं त्याचं पॉप्युलेशन वाढत जातं. तसंच असतं म्हणजे काही तुम्ही जसे इक्वलय असतं आपण सीवेज सिस्टीम मधनं जे पाणी फ्रेश वॉटर ग्राउंड वॉटर मध्ये जातं त्याच्यात इक्वलय असतं. इक्वलय ग्रो व्हेरी फास्ट whenever the water temperature increases more than 28 degrees Celsius. त्याच्या आतमध्ये असेल तर इक्वलय वाढत नाही पण त्याच्या वरती गेले की त्याचं पॉप्युलेशन जॉमेट्रिकल सिरीजने वाढतं. So we are not, but some of the slides also, so some of the diatom species they are grow in a polluted environment also. So likewise the diatoms we cannot able to produce it, but no doubt it can basically cannot destroy even, but once we can basically destroy the water bodies, wet area. So I am not that much expertise of this. So whatever the things I get it from that Karthik from Kandekar Institute. So we basically, because our task is that, so how to apply this to the special variation of the diatoms, and if possible, once we get the dates, so what is the scenario as far as the diatom, because these are the different proxies. Proxies means what? So वेगवेगळे आपण ग्लेशियल मेट्स होत आहेत त्याचे प्रॉक्सी काय आहे तर मिनरल मॅग्नेटिझम ही एक प्रॉक्सी आहे, डायटोम ही एक प्रॉक्सी आहे किंवा त्यातले बॅक्टेरियाचं व्हेरिएशन ही त्यातली एक प्रॉक्सी आहे. त्याच्यातनं आपण क्लायमेट चेंज किती होतोय किती वेगाने होतोय हे आपण त्यातनं बघू शकतो. Okay, so thank you. So no question will be there. So thank you very much for listening us, and whatever the work you will also do it such kind of the work. Okay, so don't basically consider we are basically from geography and we cannot able to do more things. Okay, so these all work, this sample collection did it from our students, 7 students. Out of that, the 2 were ladies. So they basically from initial part, so they are basically eager to do something new, okay, for the society. So they basically did it. So I am also associated with this particular thing. So I am only the guide of that particular exercise. Okay, thank you very much.
धन्यवाद सर, खूपच छान आणि टेक्निकल माहिती सुद्धा तुम्ही आम्हाला सांगितली. म्हणजे बरेच कठीण टॉपिक जे होते त्यातलं पण साधं साधं आम्हाला कळावं त्या पद्धतीने तुम्ही आम्हाला स्पष्टीकरण केलं. सरांच्या व्याख्यानाची एक समरी करायची म्हटली तर सरांनी आपल्याला होलोसन पिरियड बद्दल जरा सांगितलं. प्लिस्टोसिन आइस एज जे आपण अभ्यासात असतो म्हणजे आपण एक थिअरी वाचत राहतो पण त्याचं प्रॅक्टिकल ऍप्लिकेशन फील्ड स्टडी कशी होते ते त्याबद्दल आपल्याला सरांनी सांगितलं. पॅलोमॅग्नेटिझम आपण कॉन्टिनेंटल ड्रिफ्टच्या एव्हिडन्सेस मध्ये बघितलेलं की कॉन्टिनेंटल ड्रिफ्ट होत आहेत, मग त्यांचे मिनरल्स चे डायरेक्शन चेंज होत आहे, मग त्यानुसार आपल्याला कळतं कॉन्टिनेंट ड्रिफ्ट कसं होतं. पण त्याचं ऍप्लिकेशन असं सुद्धा होतं हे सरांच्या व्याख्यानातून आपल्याला कळालं. आणि सर्वात महत्वाची गोष्ट डायटॉम बद्दल, डायटॉम ही कन्सेप्ट आतापर्यंत माहित नव्हती पण डायटॉम असं काही असतं आणि ते 25% ऑक्सिजन रिलीज करू शकतं हे सुद्धा आपल्याला कळालं. आणि सर्वात महत्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे सरांनी जे त्यांच्या भाषेत सुद्धा शब्द वापरला जुगाड, म्हणजे इंटेलिजन्सच्या डेफिनेशन मध्ये असं राहतं की आपण मिनिमम रिसोर्सेस वापरून किती चांगलं काम करू शकतो त्याला इंटेलिजंट असं म्हणतात है ना. आणि मराठीत अशी म्हण आहे की वेळेवर मिळेल तेच ब्रह्मास्त्र. सो सरांनी त्याच आयडियाचा वापर करून गॅल्व्हनाइडच्या पाईपने एवढी चांगली स्टडी केली आणि आपल्या समोर ते एक्सप्लेन सुद्धा केले. सो आपल्याला हे शिकायला मिळालं की आपल्याकडे पण जे मिनिमम रिसोर्सेस आहेत त्याचा वापर करून आपण पण चांगल्या गोष्टी करू शकतो, चांगली फील्ड स्टडी करू शकतो. सेकंड थिंग अशी की आपण मला आठवतंय की 7वीला असताना एक मालिका आलेली स्टार प्लस वरती एव्हरेस्ट नावाची. त्यात ट्रेकर्स बद्दल जे क्लाइम्बिंग करतात माउंट एव्हरेस्ट त्याबद्दल सांगण्यात आलेलं आणि ती एक बायोग्राफी होती बेसिकली की कसे ते चढतात आणि मग त्यांना काय काय समस्या येतात. तेव्हा असं वाटलेलं की आपणही असं काहीतरी करावं, आपण काहीतरी असं ऍडव्हेंचरस करावं. पण आतापर्यंत कोणी असं त्या लेवल पर्यंत जाऊन कोणी फील्ड स्टडी करून आजपर्यंत कोणी मार्गदर्शन केलं नव्हतं. सर स्वतः तिकडे जाऊन आले आणि एवढ्या सुंदर पद्धतीने त्यांनी ती स्टडी केली आणि आपल्या सगळ्यांना एवढं सुंदर मार्गदर्शन केलं. त्यामुळे हे पहिल्यांदाच आपल्या कॉलेजमुळे आणि सरांमुळे आपल्याला प्राप्त झालं. त्यामुळे पुन्हा एकदा सरांचे मनापासून आभार. धन्यवाद सर. तुम्ही जी माहिती दिली ती खरंच खूप उपयोगाची होती आणि त्याच्यातून प्रेरणा घेऊन आम्ही सुद्धा अशी काहीतरी फील्ड स्टडी करू आणि भविष्यात असं रिसर्च सगळ्यांसमोर मांडू. धन्यवाद सर पुन्हा एकदा आणि पुढील आभार प्रदर्शनासाठी मी सिद्धीला आमंत्रित करतो. धन्यवाद सर.
आम्हाला एवढा चांगला प्लॅटफॉर्म उपलब्ध करून दिल्याबद्दल त्याचा आम्हाला बराच फायदा झाला आणि आमच्या माहितीत भरही पडली. जॉग्राफीसाठी असलेला दृष्टिकोन सुद्धा आमचा बदलला. त्यामुळे पुन्हा एकदा सर्व शिक्षक वर्ग, विलास कांबळे सर, अभिषेक सर, प्रियांका कुमारी मॅम आणि सर्व शिक्षकांचे पुन्हा एकदा आभार. आणि अखेर तुम्ही सर्व विद्यार्थी या व्याख्यानाला आलात यासाठी तुमचेही मनापासून आभार. धन्यवाद.